When I got right broadside of it, I realized how big this thing was. It was at least 8 feet tall, covered with black hair. If I had to guess, approximately 800 pounds.
What if I told you that giants once walked across ancient America and someone went to great lengths to erase them from history? Ancient texts, explorer journals, and lost manuscripts hint at towering humans, hidden secrets, and shocking evidence that mainstream history refuses to acknowledge. Why were these stories buried? Who decided they were myths? And what could these hidden records reveal if we finally piece them together? Today, we dig into these mysterious writings, uncover forgotten records, and reveal the secrets that mainstream history tried to bury. Giants in sacred scriptures. Let's start with one of the most astonishing stories from the Bible. In Genesis 6, chapter 4, it says, "There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown." These were the Nephilim, half-angel, half-human giants, some described as reaching up to 13 feet tall. And they weren't gentle or helpful. They were warriors, predators, consuming crops, livestock, and even humans, plunging the world into chaos. The story doesn't end there. The Book of Enoch, an ancient text discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls, expands on the Nephilim's terrifying behavior. It portrays them as voracious cannibals, devouring everything around them. Their greed and violence forced the earth to the brink, leading to divine intervention in the form of the Great Flood. Scholars of the time often treated these accounts as literal history, not metaphor or allegory. The texts describe their actions, their heights, and the destruction they caused with remarkable detail. Archaeology adds another layer to this mystery. Consider the megaliths of Baalbek in Lebanon, where foundation stones weigh over 1,000 tons. Ancient humans with basic tools could not have moved or positioned these massive stones alone. Could this point to the Nephilim, or other superhuman beings, as the builders? While mainstream historians often argue that these giant figures were symbolic, the combination of scripture, ancient writings, and these impossible constructions raises serious questions. There's also a fascinating scientific angle. Paleoclimate research indicates that around 12,000 years ago, during the Younger Dryas period, Earth experienced sudden ice melts and massive sea level rises. A natural disaster of this magnitude could have erased entire civilizations, including evidence of these giants. It's possible that what we think of as myth was actually humanity trying to explain real events and real beings, now lost to time. So what does this all mean? Were the Nephilim literal giants, wreaking havoc on Earth before being wiped out by the flood? Or are they symbolic representations of human tyrants exaggerated in ancient storytelling? And if the flood was a real climate event, could it have erased evidence of entire civilizations hiding the giants' legacy? These texts, when combined with archaeological clues and climate science, suggest a hidden layer of history, one that challenges the mainstream view of the ancient world. Whether you believe in literal giants or symbolic warnings, the story of the Nephilim opens a door to mysteries that have fascinated humans for millennia. The more we dig, the more questions arise. What was the real scale of their existence? And could evidence still be out there, buried or forgotten, waiting to be rediscovered? Sumerian secrets unearthed. Let's travel even further back to Mesopotamia around 5000 BCE, the birthplace of civilization. Here, in the dusty remains of ancient cities, archaeologists uncovered Sumerian clay tablets. These fragile relics tell stories that sound like science fiction. The Anunnaki, giant godlike beings, 8 to 12 feet tall, descending from a mysterious planet called Nibiru. But they weren't just gods sitting in temples. According to the inscriptions, they mined gold and engineered humans, genetically modifying early people to serve as laborers. Imagine giants walking among humans, reshaping civilization as they went. The stories grow even more vivid in the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest stories ever written. Gilgamesh himself is 2/3 divine, a semi-giant whose quests include a legendary battle against Humbaba, the colossal guardian of the cedar forest. Humbaba's enormous size and thunderous presence weren't just mythical exaggerations, they symbolize the Anunnaki's dominion over nature and humanity, and just like the Nephilim in Genesis, these giants played a role in global catastrophes. The Atrahasis epic recounts that humanity's overpopulation and the giants' interference angered the god Enlil, who unleashed a devastating flood, mirroring the biblical deluge. Only the giant Enki warned one survivor, instructing them to build an ark. Archaeology adds even more intrigue. Excavations at Uruk reveal doors, tools, and artifacts scaled for beings far larger than average humans. Some items show craftsmanship that seems impossibly advanced for the period. These clues suggest that the Sumerians weren't just telling metaphors. They might have been preserving memories of actual giant builders. Modern scholars often dismiss these accounts as myths or symbolic allegories, but the details are strikingly consistent across tablets. And here's a rehook. Around 3000 BCE, sudden sea level rises in the Persian Gulf may have submerged these settlements. Could natural disasters have wiped out physical evidence, leaving only stories behind? This natural cover-up could explain why these giants seem to vanish from history, even as their legends survive in multiple texts. The Sumerians also left us subtle breadcrumbs, depictions of gigantic figures, oversized tools, and precise engineering hints. Compare that to today's skepticism. Giants are reduced to fantasy, but the ancient records paint a consistent picture. Beings of enormous size interacting directly with humans, shaping civilizations, and even influencing catastrophic floods. So, were the Anunnaki simply mythic storytellers' creations? Or did real giants walk the earth, leaving traces in both text and stone? The answer may be buried beneath layers of sand, clay, and rising seas. And if they did exist, how much of their story has been deliberately or naturally erased? The Sumerian tablets might hold more than history. They could be a map to a lost giant civilization, waiting for curious minds to piece it together. Greek and Roman behemoths. Crossing the Mediterranean, the classical world hides stories of giants that defy imagination. In Hesiod's Theogony, the Titans loom as primordial forces, Cronus, Gaia, and their colossal siblings, embodiments of raw power and chaos. They didn't just exist, they waged war against the younger Olympian gods in the Titanomachy, shaking mountains and rivers with every step. When they fell, they were cast into Tartarus, a shadowy abyss beneath the underworld, a prison for the defeated. But what if these myths aren't mere allegories? Could they preserve fragments of memory about real beings, suppressed over centuries? Then there are the Cyclopes, the one-eyed giants who forged Zeus's thunderbolts in volcanic forges. These weren't gentle craftsmen. They were titans of fire and metal, wielding raw strength unmatched by mortals. And the Gigantes, born from Uranus's blood, rose in fury to challenge the gods, sparking the Gigantomachy. They stacked mountains like Pelion and Ossa in their assault on Olympus, towering armies that reshaped the landscape. Roman poets like Ovid took these tales further in Metamorphoses, describing giants hurling mountains toward heaven, punished beneath volcanoes such as Etna. The defeated Enceladus, trapped beneath fiery rock, is said to cause earthquakes with every movement, a vivid suggestion of hidden truths recorded in myth. Even heroes clash with giants. Hercules' battle with Antaeus is a story of brute strength and cunning. Antaeus drew power from the earth itself, rejuvenating with each touch of the soil until Hercules lifted him off the ground and crushed him. Could these tales exaggerate real encounters with beings far larger than average humans? Some evidence suggests it's possible. In Sardinia, Nuragic tombs, the so-called giants' graves, contain skeletons measuring up to 10 feet, buried with enormous stones, hinting at beings far beyond normal human size. Archaeologists debate these finds, yet the alignment with myths is uncanny. Across Greece and Rome, giants are often explained as symbols of chaos, human fears, or natural forces. Modern interpretations dismiss the literal reading, claiming myth serves only allegorical purposes. But the consistency of these narratives, from Hesiod to Ovid, from heroic epics to archaeological oddities, suggests something deeper. Could there have been real giants, their memory preserved through stories, their traces buried beneath mountains, tombs, and ruins? And if so, who decided these stories should be sanitized, their literal possibility dismissed? The legends of Greek and Roman giants, with their titanic battles and earth-shaking power, hint at a hidden layer of history. By comparing texts, ruins, and skeletal anomalies, a pattern emerges. Evidence suppressed, stories explained away, yet persistent across millennia. Are these myths purely literary, or are they echoes of a world where giants truly walked among humans, forgotten, erased, yet remembered in whispers through the ages? Every cyclops, every titan, every stone stacked too high may be pointing to a secret the ancient world tried to preserve and the modern world quietly ignored. Global echoes of giants. The stories of giants aren't limited to one region. They appear all over the world, almost like different cultures are whispering about the same hidden truth. In ancient Hindu texts, the Vedas tell of the Daityas and Danavas, towering, powerful giants who battle the gods, especially Indra, shaking the heavens and the earth in epic cosmic warfare. Their size and strength are described as beyond human comprehension, suggesting a race of beings that literally dominated the world. Across Africa, the Dogon people have passed down tales of the Nommo, amphibious giants from the star Sirius. These mysterious beings reportedly brought knowledge of the cosmos to humanity before vanishing into water. It's fascinating how these myths blend astronomy, spirituality, and gigantism, almost as if the Dogon were preserving secret memories from long ago. North America offers its own chilling accounts. The Paiute tribe spoke of red-haired cannibal giants inhabiting Lovelock Cave in Nevada. Archaeologists in the early 20th century uncovered mummies measuring around 8 feet tall, along with oversized tools and artifacts. These finds align uncannily with the legends, raising the question, could these giant beings really have walked the continent centuries ago, leaving traces hidden underground? In Mesoamerica, the Mayan Popol Vuh recounts the creation of humans and a race of wooden giants. These early giants were arrogant and disrespectful, prompting the gods to destroy them and start over with humans. The story mirrors the repeated theme seen elsewhere. Giants rise, dominate, and then vanish, whether through divine intervention, climate catastrophe, or war. The Norse myths of the Jotun, or frost giants, also follow this pattern. Ymir, the primordial giant, is said to have been killed by Odin and his brothers, his body forming the earth itself. Later, Ragnarok, the apocalypse, brings the Jotun back in full force, waging cosmic war against gods and humans alike. The recurring theme of massive beings shaping landscapes, cultures, and battles is striking across these distant societies. When you line up these myths, a striking pattern emerges. Giants of enormous height appear from Genesis's Nephilim at 13 feet, to the Anunnaki at 12 feet, to Greek titans over 20 feet, to Lovelock's 8-foot mummies. On screen, You could even see a table mapping heights and sources across civilizations, a visual reminder that these aren't just isolated stories, they're a global phenomenon. The Great Cover-Up begins. By the 19th century, the story of giants wasn't just ancient lore, it was showing up in plain sight. Across the United States, mound sites yielded something shocking. Skeletons ranging from 7 to 12 feet tall, documented in newspapers like the New York Times. Florida's bogs preserved mummies dating back 7,500 BCE, while Nevada's Spirit Cave contained remains from 8,000 BCE, all unnaturally large. Explorers didn't ignore these findings either. Magellan's crew in South America wrote of towering Patagonians, reaching 10 feet, so massive they inspired awe and fear. Yet the narrative quickly shifted from discovery to disappearance. Enter the Smithsonian Institution. Under directors like John Wesley Powell, artifacts that didn't fit the Darwinian story seemed to vanish. Bones, oversized tools, and even entire skeletons were catalogued and then lost. Researchers like Richard Dewhurst claim directives existed to debunk, hide, or even destroy evidence that challenged accepted timelines. Think of the Bat Creek Stone, inscribed in Paleo-Hebrew, or the massive ancient cities in Arizona and Oklahoma, designed for populations far larger than humans of ordinary size could support. Were giants the builders? It's a question explorers wanted answered, but institutions provided silence. Why would this happen? Some suggest control over historical narratives, a desire to keep evolution neat and acceptable, or even fear of admitting lost advanced civilizations or extraterrestrial influence. Skeptics, of course, dismiss these reports as hoaxes or exaggeration, citing Snopes and other fact-checkers. Yet eyewitness testimonies, missing museum inventories, and contemporary newspaper reports keep the story alive. Where did they vanish? So if giants once walked the earth, why don't we see them today? It wasn't just extinction, it was a strategic disappearance. Ancient texts describe survivors retreating to hidden realms. The Book of Enoch, for instance, speaks of underworld portals where some giants took refuge. Plato's Atlantis might not be mere myth. It could represent a sunken land where giants survived in isolation. Around the world, myths tell similar stories. Beings fleeing disasters, vanishing from sight but leaving traces in lore. The natural world offers part of the explanation. Around 12,000 BCE, during the Younger Dryas, the planet experienced sudden climate upheaval. Glaciers melted, sea levels rose rapidly, and catastrophic floods reshaped coastlines. These weren't small, local events. They were global, capable of wiping out populations and erasing civilizations. Sites like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey show evidence of sudden abandonment during this period, suggesting giants may have been forced to flee or hide. Some stories point to extreme refugees. Antarctica emerges in declassified Admiral Byrd diaries, describing unusual structures and subterranean bases. In Siberia, excavations have uncovered unusually large tombs, hinting at survivors in remote areas. Legends in Norse, Tibetan, and Native American traditions speak of underground cities or secret realms where giants persisted. Could these be real sanctuaries, hidden from human eyes for millennia? Even genetics might tell part of the story. Modern studies reveal traces of ghost DNA in humans, remnants of unknown archaic species. Could this be evidence of giant ancestry? Combined with archaeological, textual, and climate data, a picture emerges. Giants didn't vanish entirely. They adapted, retreated, and perhaps left descendants who remain hidden or partially integrated into modern humanity. This narrative reframes history. Giants weren't just myth or misinterpretation. They were real, displaced by climate catastrophes and human suppression. Floods, hidden refugees, and lost cities all created a perfect storm to obscure their legacy. Yet clues survive. Texts, tombs, genetic markers, and unexplained structures hint that the story of giants continues, waiting for those bold enough to look beyond the surface. The global footprint of giants is everywhere, from underwater ruins to Siberian tombs, from ancient myths to genetic mysteries. Each revelation challenges the conventional story, reminding us that some truths are so extraordinary they had to be hidden. Until now. Uncovering the truth. The story of giants doesn't end in ancient history. It stretches into the modern world in ways that keep researchers and enthusiasts on edge. Consider Bigfoot sightings across North America. Footprints measuring 18 inches have been documented for decades, and many theorists suggest these could be descendants of the Paiute giants who once roamed regions like Nevada. These aren't just folklore or campfire rumors. They echo the very same giant lineage discussed in ancient texts. Then there's the enduring connection to UFOs and the Anunnaki. Writers like Zecharia Sitchin argue that reports of strange craft and extraterrestrial visitors may not be new phenomena, but echoes of ancient gods who engineered humans and interacted with giant populations. Could these modern sightings be linked to survivors of a lost era, either in hidden enclaves or in secret contact with humanity? The evidence is circumstantial, but the patterns are compelling. Even religious institutions feed the mystery. The Vatican is rumored to have suppressed full versions of the Book of Enoch within the Dead Sea Scrolls, texts that clearly describe giants and underworld refugees. Meanwhile, whispers of government black sites holding bones or artifacts fuel speculation about what evidence still exists, hidden from public scrutiny. If true, these sites could hold the final pieces of the puzzle, yet remain off-limits to researchers. Why suppress this history? The motives are as old as the cover-up itself: power over knowledge and control of narratives. Governments, institutions, and religious authorities alike have had the ability to shape what humanity believes about its past. Even in contemporary politics, curiosity persists. Recent GOP inquiries into the Smithsonian archives suggest that ancient giant skeletons may once again be under investigation, hinting at renewed interest in what was deliberately hidden. So, what does all this mean for those seeking answers? From the Nephilim of the Bible to the Sumerian Anunnaki, from Roman and Greek giants to the vanished civilizations of North America, the evidence paints a picture of a world deliberately obscured. The migration saga of giants, driven by catastrophic floods, climate shifts, and human interference, shows us that these beings weren't just stories. They were part of a real, tangible past. Institutional suppression, from the Smithsonian's lost skeletons to the Vatican's selective preservation of texts, has kept this knowledge out of mainstream history. Yet the clues survive: oversized artifacts, climate records showing global upheavals, oral traditions preserved across continents, and modern anomalies like Bigfoot or declassified sites. Each of these threads weaves into a narrative that challenges what we assume about humanity's past. From hidden giants in ancient texts to modern mysteries like Bigfoot, the secrets of our past are more astonishing than we imagine. Keep exploring, questioning, and uncovering the truth. If you loved this journey, hit like, subscribe, and join us as we go deeper into history's hidden giants.